"What the heck? I can't believe this story actually happened. A couple in China were fast asleep when their baby monitor suddenly turned on. The screen was filled with static, and then they saw a dark shadow standing over their baby. They thought it might just be a power cable or something, but then the shadow started moving. It moved towards the baby, and the parents started freaking out. They thought it might be a ghost or some kind of demon, so they started screaming and making tons of noise. The baby was totally fine and was just sleeping. But the parents were too scared to check because the thing on the monitor was still there. So the dad got up and went to check on their baby, while the mom stayed in bed and kept screaming. Dad came back and told her that the baby was fine and that there was no one in the room. But the mom was still too scared to look at the monitor. She was like, "No way, Jose, I'm not looking over there. You look." But after a few minutes, she finally got up and went to the monitor to see what it was, and it was just the power cable. The whole time I was watching this, I was like, why didn't they just turn the monitor off and unplug it? But apparently they tried doing that, and it wouldn't turn off. Like they couldn't even see the baby because the screen was just filled with static. I guess that's one way to make sure your baby is safe. Just put the monitor in the other room. This couple was freaking out in their bedroom, screaming and yelling, making tons of noise, probably waking up the neighbors. And the baby was just sleeping the whole time. That's like a superpower. Babies are so freaking weird sometimes. One time my sister and I were taking care of my niece and nephew. My sister was rocking my niece while singing to her, and my nephew was just staring at us. And then he suddenly started laughing hysterically. We were like, "What's so funny?" And he was like, "You guys are so stupid." We were like, "What?" And he was like, "You think that's funny?" And we were like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "You guys are so stupid, you don't know how to make me laugh." And then he started laughing again, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, he's so cute." And then he looked at us and he was like, "You guys are so red." We were like, "What?" And he was like, "Well, you're both so freaking cute." And then he started laughing again, and we were like, "Oh my God, he's so smart." And then he looked at us and he was like, "You guys are so stupid." And then he started laughing again.